You're also the author of The Money Queen's Guide, which we have proudly shared with several Rock the Street Wall Street cohorts. And now we're very excited to talk to you about your new book, Women and Wealth, a playbook to empower clients and unlock their fortunes. So, welcome.
Thank you for having me. And actually, I am such a big fan of Rock the Street Wall Street. And you are actually in the book in for worthy nonprofits helping women. So if people want to donate or learn more about Rock the Street, it's in the book. So I'm hoping that brings more visibility to your incredible organization.
Well, we are so delighted and proud to have you included. Thank you so much for including us and certainly appreciate your support. So let's go ahead and jump in. You've spent your career serving clients and also helping women gain financial presence. For those that are just starting out, what does learning financial and investment literacy really unlock? How does that knowledge help build women's wealth and step into leadership around money?
Sure. So, well, first of all, I always say money equals power, and women need more of both. So it's interesting because women, as I don't know if our audience knows, but women, well, they always say that women will inherit the earth, but literally in this situation, women are going to control 2/3 of the nation's wealth by 2030, which is a short 4.5 years away. So we're going from 1/3 of the wealth to 2/3 of the wealth, or $30 trillion, which is literally the same as the GDP of the United States. So we are talking massive numbers. It's a lot of convergence of a lot of different things that are happening that is going to make this incredible wealth shift happen. And I don't think the industry is ready for it. I don't know if women are ready for it. I'm excited to get them ready for it. I think that women, in general, they don't talk about money. They don't want to learn about money. They are, intimidated by it for the most part. And so in a lot of cases, they think somebody else is going to take care of it for them. So I believe that step one is just coming into power and learning why you should be responsible for your money is literally step one.
Yeah, we really are up against a cultural issue
Yeah.
here. And you're absolutely right about that, the relationship with money. Your new book has such practical and it's really an insightful guide to the financial professionals and how they can better serve those female clients. So what do you wish more people in financial services industry understood when it comes to working with women and how those allies can be a part of the shift?
Well, so what's interesting is that financial services looks at women definitely as a niche and definitely as really two things: widows and divorced. And that's it. Like as if women are nothing else but those two things. And as we know, women have a complete life cycle. So women have lots of life events, and we're not just divorced or widowed. So first of all, women are not a niche. They are a powerhouse, and they are the future. So that's the first thing that I want everybody to know, including women and outside of the industry. So, the book is practical guidelines for how to work with this population, right? So what's interesting is my industry, wealth management, was built by men for men, and men have been the primary clients. And so what's worked in the past will not work in the future because it's a different clientele. So I am literally giving my industry the playbook to do it right and how to serve women, the way they want to be served. And so I'm hoping that it changes the industry. That is literally why I wrote the book, because I want women to have a good experience with financial services, and I want more women in the profession, and I want women to learn more about money, and I want women to be going to financial planners and have good experiences. So it's like a combination of all these things at once.
So much alignment to what we want as well at Rock the Street Wall Street.
I know.
you write about such actionable strategies as well, backed by research. I mean, you didn't just write things down, you really have the research in here as well as real world experience. So, can you share one of those practical takeaways from your book that advisors and even our students and other students can start applying right now to better serve women and to really advocate for themselves?
Sure. So I feel like that's a two-part question. So
It is.
with women, there's the first thing that women are like turned off by, which is like a simple thing, is to reevaluate your communication with women. Are you resonating with them? Are you speaking their language? They speak a different language. They're not going to be excited by, beating the S&P 500 and all the sports analogies and, all the jargon and all the, impressing them with Sharpe ratios and alpha betas and all that stuff. And their eyes are going to glaze over and they're going to be like, what does this mean to me? Like, just tell me I'm going to be okay. So that's number one. Step one is, are you communicating with them in a way that they understand? The second thing is active listening, and also getting to know her as a person. That is so important to a woman, because I always say, and obviously I didn't come up with this saying, but they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? And so that's how women are. Like, you're not going to dazzle them with your jargon and knowledge. They just want to know that you know them and you know them as a person and as a human being. And then they'll listen to your advice of what to do with their money. So it's just very different. And also, it's all about, for back to the leadership part of that statement, is education and money and knowledge is power. And that's it. So the more you have of that, the more money you have, the more power you have, the more knowledge you have, the more power you have.
Absolutely. And what I really like that you just shared is that piece of really paying attention to what they're saying. I mean, you're right. I'm in the Southeast, so there's sports being talked about all the time, right?
Yeah.
What's really interesting that you call out, though, is that you really need to hear what their goals are, really, really repeat back what it is and that understanding. And I think that that's so key to building any relationship, right? Especially one in this way. And I also enjoy how you called out for our students and for women overall to really feel confident in that piece of, you can have the education, the knowledge, and all of that really is power. So thank you so much for sharing that.
You're so welcome. And it's funny because there's a whole thing in the book, but I talk about how confidence is key. And it's one of the most important things that you can have as a woman is confidence. I think it's so underrated, and it's incredibly important in your career, in your life, in your decision making, in all of it.
Couldn't agree more.
Mm-hmm.
So between this historic wealth transfer that we know is happening, and underserved demographics, what should women and families be thinking about, regardless of their current income or wealth? What would you suggest that they really be focusing on, and what's at risk if they don't pay attention?
So what's at risk is saying somebody else is going to take care of this for me. And it's happening. It happens so much I can't even tell you. I mean, because it's what I do for a living. So I get the women calling me when there's a divorce, a death, a disability, a job loss, something that's horrible. And then they come to me. And I always say they come to me when it's raining, not when it's sunshine. And I would love women to come to me when it's sun shining out and everything's great. And then we can go from there and we can learn and teach and grow from that place rather than a place of, vulnerability and crisis. So I feel like one of my life's goals is that every woman says, I'm going to take care of this money thing myself. I'm going to be responsible for it on my own. I'm not going to let somebody else take care of it. A man, my dad, my husband, my spouse, my friend, my aunt, my uncle, whoever. So nobody else is taking care of it. It's me. And so that is like the number one thing that I believe in and that I want to practice and teach and preach. Because guess what? In over 90% of cases, women are going to be responsible for it themselves anyway. So you might as well learn now. There's no time like today to do it when the sun is shining.
Right. You got to be a part of the conversation. You got to know.
Yes.
So you speak the language of numbers, which we are very much so data people here.
Yes,
So
I know
do
you
we
are.
at Rock the Street Wall Street. With my background, it's actually in mathematics. I like to secretly call myself a math nerd, but a mathlete and all the other pieces. So with a background in mathematics, I know how powerful it is when young people understand the value of money and time, the time value of money for that matter, and what compounding can look like and all those different pieces. If you, in your experience, how does financial literacy and seeing the numbers shift behavior?
So it's so incredibly powerful. I always say that compounding interest is literally the eighth wonder of the world. And I can literally show it to you. Like I can take an 18-year-old and be like, okay, if you put this away now, or this away this much a month, or this much a year, or this much whatever, this is how much it's going to be worth when you're 65, or this is going to, and blow them away. Like I love doing those numbers for them because it's literally unbelievable. People like they cannot even believe it, but it's true. And so the other thing I say to people is what if you could make more money from your assets than you could from your day job? And that's also the power of compounding interest. And people are like, what? And I'm like, because, it's funny, the young generation on, TikTok or whatever, maybe even Instagram are, talking about passive income. And I'm like, you don't have any money. How are you going to do passive income? You need assets to have passive income. So I think it's kind of funny, but that's one of my things. I always say, you've made it if you can make more off of your portfolio than you do your day job. And so to show the numbers and how incredible they are, and as me and it's just math, but it is literally incredible.
It is. It's one of those things that I think, oh, at the time, whenever I was younger, I thought, oh, I can't even spare a single dollar, like to put it away. And I absolutely could have. I could have worked
Well,
it
see,
out.
that's so
And there's so
funny.
much time value, of money that you lose by looking at that.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story. And I don't even know if it's in the book or not, but I knew the time value of money at a young age. So here I was 22 right out of college, and all my girlfriends were going to Mardi Gras in New Orleans. And I said, oh, I can't go. And they're like, why not? And I'm like, it's going to be $1,000. I'm like, that $1,000 is going to be worth $200,000 by the time I'm 65. I can't justify it. And I didn't go on that vacation. Is that crazy? I mean, that's obviously quite extreme, but that's where my head was at.
And it's a great place to be. So we loved the Queen's Money Guide. Our students connected with it. And now this new book builds on that foundation for both rising professionals and those already in the field. So you've shown incredible perseverance throughout your career. What's one lesson that helped you stay true to your values and grow your book business?
Sure. So you know that saying, ABC, always be closing? Well, I do ABY, always be yourself. And so I think that's the most important thing to do, is to be yourself, because everybody else is already taken. Be true to yourself. And for me, it's interesting because every client that I've ever gotten in my entire career has been self-sourced, meaning organic growth, which is, the holy grail of financial planning is to have organic growth. And every single one of my clients have literally come to me by the law of attraction. So I have never done traditional things or ways of getting clients. They have literally all come to me by just holding myself out and believing in what I do, who I am, speaking my truth, and just putting it out in the universe. And that's what's happened. So I've been incredibly fortunate.
That's amazing. As we feature your work across our Career Center and our summer programming, what advice would you offer to young women entering the financial industry today?
Sure, I've got a lot for this. So I would say number one is to be confident. Be confident in what you know and who you are. and be brave about what you don't. That's really important too. Always be yourself, because why would you be anybody else, right? Find a mentor, because this is a difficult profession for women, or at least it was when I was coming up. Hopefully it's going to get better over time, but there's lots of great mentorship programs, and to be part of them. WLA, which is Women's Leadership Alliance, is one of them that I'm involved with. That's a great mentorship group. Women are the future, so remember that. And so we need you and we want you, and you need to stay in the profession, because it's going to be, female dominated someday, I believe. And then protect your integrity and your reputation, because it's the only thing that you have that's yours. And it's really important in this industry. Say what, do what you say and say what you do, and, just always follow through with everything that you're going to do with clients and with any other professionals.
That was so interesting what you just shared about keeping your word. Can you give us an example of that?
Sure. So if you tell a client, I'm going to get back with you within 24 hours, you better get back to them within 24 hours. Rich, who works for me for 16 years, and I have a rule that our clients, we are completely responsive, and we have a rule that you will hear from us within 24 hours. Usually it's 5 minutes, but sometimes it takes us a little bit longer, but it's never more than 24 hours. And we've had clients reach out to us who said, I haven't heard back from you, and it's more than 24 hours. Something must be wrong. And then I say, I didn't get any message from you. And then I'm like, where did you send it? And then we find out they sent it to an old email that we don't work at anymore. And I'm like, this is why you didn't hear from us within 24 hours, because we never got the message. So, but our clients know that that's how responsive we are, and they're never going to have to wait. And if if they don't hear from us, something is wrong. So it's great that we have that expectation, and that clients expect it from us, because we do what we say. And that's what you always have to do. And then you can over deliver too, but at least you're going to do exactly what you say, if not more.
I love how you're really focusing on the fact that builds integrity, right? And
Right.
it deepens the relationship with trust. And so
Yes.
that is amazing. And I love the idea of over delivering and making that reach out in less than 24 hours if possible. And so that's a wonderful practice, and something that really does deepen those relationships. Well, Cary, it has been a joy. You are absolutely incredible. We are delighted about your new book. Thank you again for mentioning Rock the Street, Wall Street. And we so look forward to continuing our engagements together and involving our students and alum.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm such a big supporter of your organization.
Thank you.